So on number 19, we're given two parts of an equation, or actually we're given two parts of two equations. So we know that after 3 years he had $9,720. After 4 years it was $5,832. So we basically know an x and a y and an x and a y. We don't have the starting value of A and we don't have the multiplier of B. Now, because these are 3 years and 4 years, they're just 1 year apart, we could solve that simply by dividing. But I actually want to show you guys a little tool for that when they're not just 1 year apart. So, if you're given 2 points, and I put quotes around points because you're really just given kind of what would be the x and the y for an exponential situation. Let's say I'm given 3 for x and 40.5 for y, and then the other one I'm given is 10 for x and 691.98 for y. So if I want to equate this to what I would be doing on number 19, my 2 points would be x would be 3, and then y would be 9720. On the other situation, x would be 4, and y would be 5832. So, back to the example. Some of you may have seen this trick, some of you not so much. But if we consider that we know in an exponential y equals ab to the x, what I can do is plug my x and y into both of those. I'm going to do the larger one for my x value on the top. So what I'm going to do is put in my y, so 691.98 equals ab to the 10th. That's the information I have from this point. Then I'm going to divide that by the information that I have from the other point. So 40.5 equals ab to the third. What can I divide out of that right off the bat? A. I can get rid of the a, because a divided by a is simply 1. Now this goes back to some exponential or laws of exponents that you may not have dealt with for a while. If I have b to the 10th divided by b to the third, what is that? What do I do with those exponents? Subtract them, because if I have 10 b's on the top and I have 3 on the bottom, 3 on both the top and the bottom are going to divide out, and I'll be left with 7 on the top. So x, or b to the 7th. And then I need to actually calculate, so 691.98 divided by 40.5 is going to give me 17.086, and that's rounded off. So if I don't know the base, and this is to the 7th power, we obviously can't square root because it's not the 2nd power. Does anybody remember how to deal with that? So this would be, you could 7th root it, or put it to the power of 1/7. Because what is 7 times 1/7? 1. So I've got b equals, and then in my calculator, I'm going to do 17.086 to the power of parentheses 1 divided by 7. And if I'm doing the 7th root, it's to the power of 1/7. If I'm doing the 10th root, it's the power of 1/10, so on and so forth. Question? So that gives us 1.5, and because I had to round off, and that's 1.5000, that's pretty solidly a 1.5. So that's my multiplier. So now I know that b equals 1.5. And then similar to how you would solve if you have a slope and a point on the graph, you're going to plug everything that you know. So you've got y, and I'm going to write that kind of lightly, equals a 1.5 to the x. And I have, from my initial part of the problem, an x and a y and an x and a y. I'm going to use the 3 one just because it's a little bit more precise. So x is 3, y is 40.5. And then I just need to solve from there. So I'm going to do 1.5 to the third. So a times 3.375 equals 40.5. And then to get a alone, I divide, because this is a times, so I divide to get rid of it. And I get a equals 11.85. Oh, hang on. That might not be right. I didn't type it in right. 40.5 divided by 3.375. Aha. A equals 12. So my equation, my initial value ends up being 12 with a multiplier of 1.5 and then to the x. So this process, some of you may have seen it, some of it might look kind of familiar to you, but you really didn't have much of a recollection of it. It's hard to know how much got covered in Algebra 1-2 for dealing with those exponential equations, finding the equation given 2 points, that kind of thing. So you can use that method on number 19, as well as some of the other ones possibly on there. So hopefully that helps with that, and if you have any questions, let me know.